the investigating committees going after Hunter Biden, James Biden, and Joe Biden, and today producing evidence, direct evidence of money flowing from the Chinese corporation CEFC directly into the accounts of James Biden, and that money being removed by the President of the United States from that account by check. Your reaction to today's proceedings?
Well, Lou, it's always good to be with you. I think all of this is remarkable and a stain on the nation. The clip, you showed some key clips. The clip that really caught me was when Miss Ocasio-Cortez was trying to attack Tony Bobulinski as a witness, and she asked him, "Is it your testimony, sir, that there was a crime committed by Joe Biden?" And so he started to answer, and at one point he says, "How much time do you have for me to describe everything I believe is a crime?" And she responds and says, "No, you can just list the crimes." So then he lists them. He says, FARA, the Foreign Agents Registration Act. He says RICO. He says anti-corruption statutes. And she says RICO isn't a crime; it's a category. And she ignores FARA and she ignores the anti-corruption statutes. I mean, it really goes to show almost, Lou, that there should be an IQ test for the Democrats in Congress. She's just not playing at the same league as the Republicans or even folks like, definitely folks like Jamie Raskin, who are very canny and shrewd.
Canny, shrewd, and also dishonest and, frankly, contemptible for their Marxist dim ideology and the sorrow and pain that they have caused this country. There isn't a single Marxist dim in that committee that should have their head upright, because they are absolutely shameless. Jeff, to see the committee moving this way forward, Jeff, the idea that we're moving like at relatively light speed suddenly after a good period of quiet in the investigation, it seems that they have every intention of bringing the president to account. What's your thought?
I think so. I think today's hearing added a lot of energy. I'd also urge your viewers to look up the questioning, which was very, quick, yes or no questions that she got all of the predictable answers to from Nancy Mace. It looks like, they really want to pursue this, and I think they should. And the impeachment obviously is not the final stop. There has to be a trial in the Senate. And I'd like to see that, because I think these issues really should be hashed out and, brought before the American people so they can decide before the election.
Well, 7 months before that election, this is extremely strong fodder for that election. The Democrats are definitely on the defensive. They are trying to protect a president who seems utterly unprotectable, given the fact that his cognitive impairment is gotten worse. It is much worse. His political compromise is stunning in and of itself. We now have direct evidence in that committee of money moving from the Chinese corporation CEFC into his pocket, $40,000 on one check alone. And at this point, it's going to be very difficult to, I think, to conjure up a defense that would be effective. Where do you think legally we're headed? We're watching the President of the United States right now having to fend for himself against a confiscatory attorney general who is an absolute ideologue, Marxist dim, Letitia James, who has sullied the office of Attorney General for decades in the state of New York. And yet they're still demanding $500 million be put forward. When in the world is this the Chief Justice of the U.S. Supreme Court? Why is he not intervening and saying this will not stand?
Well, Lou, you have to get a case to the Supreme Court first, but I'll start with one that did get to the Supreme Court before him, which is Peter Navarro, who started serving a jail sentence yesterday, right? So he didn't show up for his January 6th hearing. That committee, was a legal abomination, totally unlawful, totally established in violation of the procedures Congress itself set up. Yet, he's the one going to jail, and you saw the empty chair of Hunter Biden today. It's a complete double standard. I don't think, and Bob Alinsky, and the other witness today for the Republicans testified that there was perjury essentially by Hunter Biden at the very least, and Joe Biden as well, in at least one of the witnesses' testimonies. And I don't think if that even got referred to DOJ that they're going to do anything with it. I mean, it seems like they're running a Biden family protection operation. And, we hear constantly that DOJ, in the view of the left, is supposed to be independent of Joe Biden. That's a crock. Constitutionally, it's a crock. And I think the left knows that, and their scam on that over the last, 50 years since 50 years since Watergate is unraveling. But it's also a crock on the facts because, Biden, for instance, said he didn't have anything to do with the raid on President Trump's house. FOIA documents have come out showing that was a total lie. So I don't think that the Justice Department is really acting here like a fair broker. They're acting as if they're really trying to pursue anyone who's allied with President Trump and President Trump himself with maximum force. And for the Biden family, it's a snooze fest.
Well, let's be very straightforward. I don't think there's any reason for debate about the integrity of the Department of Justice or its prosecutors. The reality is that they are a politicized, weaponized Department of Justice with only one goal, and that is to preserve and protect Joe Biden as the figurehead, the puppet president of the United States, cognitively impaired, compromised by the Chinese and the Ukrainians and whomever else. We're looking at an absolutely lawless moment in our history led by Marxist Dems who mean to destroy this country. I don't see why anybody is playing games about what this Justice Department is. It's crooked, it's corrupt, and it is mendacious and venal.
So, Lou, let me make this point because I don't think it gets made enough. From Robert Herr's special counsel report about the state of mind, the mental decline of Joe Biden, that's a reason not to prosecute him. That's not the right temporal framework, right? The right temporal framework is what was his, mental composure, his mental status at the time he was doing things like turning over classified documents to his ghostwriter when he got $8 million from a book, right? Similarly, today, an issue like that comes up. You look at his statement about, son of a bitch, the prosecutor got fired when he was speaking to the Council on Foreign Relations a number of years back. He was clearly all compos mentis then, right? Those are the right timeframes for assessing either the corruption issue in terms of Ukraine or assessing whether he violated the Espionage Act, et cetera, when he was vice president and when he was a senator, Lou.
Yeah, I think of those as niceties, to be candid, Jeff. I think the reality here is that Merrick Garland, I'm more interested in his state of mind. I'm more interested in his corruption. That of Joe Biden and his regime is obvious and apparent and thriving right now. And the special counsels, whether they're Jack Smith, Robert Hur, you name them, they are ignoramuses of the highest order, and no American should for one moment think that there is any redeeming quality of integrity about anything they're saying or doing as they take on, for a ninth straight year, the political persecution of Donald J. Trump.